Hello, cat loving world. It is somewhere near Halloween, so let's talk about Halloween a little bit. First thing, I've been asked this a million times. Okay, not a million, half a million. But the idea is, do I approve of dressing up cats for Halloween? Sorry to say I don't. I really don't like dressing up animals in general. It just doesn't do me a lot of good. Now, I would normally be like, no, 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 I really don't like this. I don't tend to pull punches all that much, but uh, there is that human side of things. It's every now and again you see, usually a dog that looks like I don't even care that you put a Abraham Lincoln hat on me, and they look cute. And what are you gonna do? Have I put a hat on my dog every now and again? Yes, I have. If I try to put a hat on my cat, as much as I profess to be, kind of a cat dude, they tear me up. But, you know, let's remember this. 100% of this exercise of dressing up our cat is for us. It doesn't make them feel better. It doesn't raise self-esteem. They're not saying, oh, I feel so much better as a cat now that, I have some, a fake piece of fruit on my head or whatever. Um, it's a human exercise. So remember that. If your cat is completely not caring, uh, then okay, so be it. It does make for some cute pictures. I have seen some great pictures sent in by my own clients. I know those cats are well adjusted and fine. Um, I just think, in the long run, it's just not one of those cat enriching things. And I guess my whole thing is that everything I want to do would be based on enriching the lives of the cats. And this isn't one of them. So, I mean, they already do us some big favors. Listen, they already, they go in the litter box, for God's sake. And that's not a natural act for a cat. So, you know, that's about as much as in our direction as I would like to see a cat go. Literally. So, on to other things. Some just common sense tips for Halloween, just based on my experience in the cat world. First of all, let's talk about the fire problem. Candles are a big thing on Halloween. Candles in the jack-o'-lanterns, candles all over the house to make it look kind of spooky. If you got cats, that may be a big problem. I have, in my years of doing this, seen a couple of house fires and more than a few cat fires, meaning cats that were burned pretty badly by just brushing by a candle, getting their tail caught, or something like that. So it can be really messy and not worth it. So a few things. First of all, if you're going to have one of those jack-o'-lantern type of things, put it out on the front porch. Put it out, in a windowsill. But what I would say that has worked for me is to actually forego the candles. And what you can do is get those little battery operated, I think they're battery operated, just those, no, I don't know what they're just like little tea candles that go at the bottom of the jack-o'-lantern, and you just turn them on and they glow in different colors, or you can just get the orange kind that glow normal light colored, but not as good as the real thing, but certain concessions have to be made. Either that, or leading into my next point, keep the cats away in another room, which is candle-free for the night. If you have trick-or-treaters coming around, the last thing you want is your cats dashing out the front door, which mine have done on occasion during Halloween. And the worst part about it is they get outside, and it's a really raucous time to be outside if you're not used to being outside. And then they get scared, and then they don't come back as fast as you'd want them to. So even if they are indoor-outdoor cats, keep them inside the same as you would for 4th of July, New Year's Eve, loud, crazy times. There's going to be a lot of booing and a lot of scaring kids and things like that. So, and look, if you insist on doing it, make sure you got an ID tag on at all times and that your cats are microchipped, just in case something happens. And also don't forget about the candy. You got the candy equation. Chocolate, of course, not good. Not good at all for cats or dogs. Barely good enough for your kids. But, for the most part, keep that Halloween candy away from the cats. Finally, let's talk just a little bit about the whole black cat, white cat adoption thing. If you're involved at all in the cat rescue community, you know that for the most part, rescues and shelters don't adopt out black cats, or often white cats as well, during the Halloween weeks, sometimes the entire month of October. In a perfect world, I get it, because we're basically trying to stop sort of nefarious elements who would sacrifice these black or white cats during these sort of Halloween ceremonies. They're kind of cult activities. That's what we've been told. Let me just say a few things, and this is just my opinion, of course. Since I started in the animal welfare industry 15 years ago, I've heard of one case municipally in my locality of sacrifice. And any other ones that I've actually heard about have been copycats, just kids doing whatever, but it's not the actual cult element that we've always heard it was. That being said, like I said, in a perfect world, fine, let's just not adopt out black or white cats because something could happen, they could be sacrificed. We don't live in a perfect world. We live in a very overcrowded world. Shelters are struggling to not euthanize animals, and by not adopting out these black and white cats, are they getting euthanized? I don't actually know. I think that we need to trust our adoption process just a little bit more. We have to trust our adoption counselors just a little bit more. Again, in my life, I must have facilitated over 1,000 adoptions, most likely a lot more than that. And during those Halloween weeks, you are careful. But even if you're not, you get your chops as an adoption counselor. You know how to screen people. You know how to say yes or no. These animals are under your care, and you take that very seriously. If you have doubts as an administrator, then it's time to take a look at your adoption process, but that's not for me to say. I just think that maybe the practice has outlived its usefulness a little bit, and I would rather see these animals go home. We also ask people when they adopt, hey, even if you're planning on this cat being indoor or outdoor, which in most adoption cases we really ask pretty strictly that you keep them indoors if you can, you would never let them out within the first week or two of adoption. That's just stupidity, and that's something that you counsel out again, because a cat doesn't even know their home range, let alone the seat of their territory, the inside of the house. They need to know that before they move out. So cats have no business being outside anyway. And if you don't trust yourself enough to say no to someone who sets off a few bells and whistles because you think they may sacrifice an animal, I don't know. I hope you see where I'm going with this. I'm not hanging anyone out to dry. I was part of this practice for many years. I just think that the black and the white cats deserve to go home too. And of course, as always, I seem to open up a can of worms every time I open my mouth. And I welcome your feedback. I welcome anything you have to say. I love spirited debate. And I just love hearing from you guys. And hey, also, by the way, because I'm going to be posting these video blogs as often as I can, I'd love to hear what you want to hear me talk about. So please let me know. And in the meantime, have a happy and a safe Halloween, and I'll talk to you in November.